What's up, heathens? How y'all doing? Tonight we're going to be going over a video where a guy apparently is saying that, he's trying to teach people how to talk to atheists. And I have to say that it's rather funny whenever a Christian or religious person in general tries to tell other people how to talk to us or something like that. And it always comes off as very condescending and everything. And it's gonna be great tonight. It starts out fabulous, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. But first, we gotta get through Today I Learned, as well as Out of Context and Shitty Ass Science. So, honey, you ready?
I am ready.
Yay! Casey's ready. All right. So yes, this is Jesus. This opening right here is gonna be trippy as fuck, but let's get through it, okay? You haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet. I was too busy watching the puppets.
Okay. Well, here we go. What fucking LSD is this guy on? Holy shit! There was what's in the background here? The Jesus trip. It is definitely a trip, man. Look, he's getting sucked into Jesus's hole. And then look, there's he's floating around. There's a rainbow, a fucked up rainbow over like a castle. And then he's got one of those goat men things, a satyr or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? They're from the Greek mythology, where it's like a goat and they play like a little ukulele kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I can't remember what they're called, but it's got one of them fuckers in it, and there's a whale swimming in the air. And then this woman over here is shitting out a rainbow from her asshole. Oh, there's a lot of shit rainbow stuff going on. The fuck is this? This is definitely a trip. John Crowder, how to talk to
Hey guys, I am John Crowder. I'm here with you with this week's Jesus Trip video from my Jeep. Just decided to switch things up from my office. I don't know why, but here we go. Look, from the very beginning of my walk as an adult Christian, I've never really been fond of apologetics. Now, of course, we teach. There's a place for correction and given a proper account of what is gospel truth. And I totally recognize there is a vital place for apologetics when it comes to defending the faith against atheism or unbelief. But for starters, I think we get a little headstrong and thinking God needs to be defended. I mean, if you're confident in the truth, you don't have to go around saying it all the time.
So basically you're saying that you feel like Christians shouldn't need to defend God because people are either going to believe or not going to believe. And, I mean, I guess I can understand that, but at the same time, if you're going to put it out there that, oh, there's this God who controls everything, who's going to send you to hell if you don't believe in him, I feel like you need to have some evidence to back it up, and that's where apologetics come in. So, do you need to defend your faith in God? No, I don't really care if you believe in God or not. I would venture that most atheists don't care whether or not you believe in God. The problem comes in when you or other Christians want to force other people to conform to their particular faith, like your particular faith. That's where the problem starts. So, I mean, the problem's not with us. The problem's all on the Christians.
And more importantly, almost all apologetics take the wrong approach. They devolve into
They take the wrong approach trying to prove God and shit. You just gotta get up there like Scientism Burger Cake, be like, listen, we're starting out, God exists, therefore, fuck off.
To angry polemical debate and argument that is so often rooted in a wrong approach of trying to prove God. I mean, even if you're using biblical argument, it's conditioned by human wisdom and posturing, as if we can figure our way into God. It's the
So now he's saying that apologists get it wrong because we're trying to prove God exists, because all of that's based on man's knowledge, and there's no way for us to know God's nature or God in any kind know God in any kind of way other than the ways that he lets us know, I guess. I'm not exactly sure, but I feel like he's shaking his finger at the apologist being like, "No, no, no. You just got to believe in God. Don't worry about proving his ass."
Faulty notion that people are won over by mere intellectual exercise. It's a bottom-up approach, as if God could be discovered anyway. But no, God is revealed, not discovered. And faith comes by revelation. I mean, Jesus is God's revelation of himself, and Holy Spirit is revealing Jesus in us and to us. So the place for proper apologetics is to assist people in pointing to Jesus.
Okay, so I like that he's brought this up, that it's revealed to you, as if to say that there's no real evidence for this God. You just know that this God exists because he talks to you in your sleep, or he psychically transmits information to you when you pray or something. I don't know.
Or he smacks people off a bicycle.
He smacks people off their bicycles with his big dick. It doesn't, I mean, I like that he points this out because this is the exact theology of Paul. Paul didn't know anybody that actually knew Jesus when he walked on the earth, or supposedly walked on the earth, because I don't think that he did. But regardless of that, Paul is not an eyewitness of Jesus. He saw a revelation or a vision, a hallucination of a risen Christ and all that. And that's basically what this guy's saying here, is that Christians don't need to try to prove God exists by using things in material reality, or in reality. You just have to, Jesus is something that's revealed to you, or God is something that's revealed to you and inside of you, or something. I don't know. I would want to know way before if Jesus was going to be coming inside of me. Kind of feels rapey before that point, or after that point.
Who is God's own self-revelation to the world of what he actually looks like. Evangelism, I think, could be far more successful if we actually embody Jesus rather than just talking about him.
This is actually really good advice right here. I mean, so many Christians nowadays don't embody what Jesus is. But I mean, even then, that's very subjective. Because on one hand, you got Jesus, who's a jackass, who treated that Gentile woman like she was a piece of trash. But then you've got him saying, "Oh, love everybody and treat them as you would have them treat you," and all this other stuff. So, I mean, I can see how people could, convince themselves that they are being Christ-like while being a dick. But I have to say, like, the general idea of what Jesus is supposed to be or whatnot, being this all good and perfect being or whatever, I don't think that a lot of Christians try to exemplify that.
Again, there's a place for talk, but sometimes people just need a hug. They need love, and part of our role is to provide an actual encounter. That's what prophecy and spiritual gifts are for. The kingdom is not just a matter of talk, but demonstration of power.
So basically, being kind to people and not being a douchebag is proof God exists?
Yeah, I don't understand how Christianity owns this.
Yeah, Christianity doesn't own it, but he's trying to own it for Christianity.
Well, hell yeah, this sounds like that brother dickhead that I fucked up earlier in your comment section.
Oh, this guy's gonna piss you off here in a minute, honey.
And not that you've always got to drum up a miracle or pull a rabbit out of your hat. I mean, it's all about his presence. He is real. And it's crazy how many Christians don't experience his presence every day because...
Okay, so he's saying that God is real and that he's very real. Well, if he's real, then he has to work in reality in some sense. So I still don't understand why you're saying, oh, don't worry about proving God in reality, but yet God is real in reality. You're double speaking here.
They just don't have a grid that he's here. I mean, there are plenty of Christians who are de facto atheists in real practice.
Oh, God.
What does that mean?
Okay, so what this means, I'm glad that you asked, honey, because what this means is basically there are people out there that, according to him, there are people out there that consider themselves to be Christian, but aren't actually Christian and just act like an atheist. That would be, I guess, maybe the Catholics that, are very lackadaisical about their belief and just pretty much go to church on Sundays, ask for forgiveness, and then do whatever kind of crazy shit they want to do during the week, and they just ask for forgiveness. Like, I believe they say this, they call these type of theists easy believism or something like that. Like, they just easily believe in it, and they ask for forgiveness, and they'll go to heaven and all this. Like, they don't actually try to live the faith.
But, so, he says act like an atheist. What does an atheist act like? I would love for him to answer this question.
Not Christian.
Well, I should
okay. When I
certainly don't try to act like Christians.
Well, what I mean by that is not sucking Jesus and God dick, not double pumping that particular set.
They might
But anyway,
be single pumping.
For him they're single pumping themselves, and they're serving themselves basically.
Okay.
You can't argue someone into revelation. And faith is a gift. So apologetics has to be kept on a short leash. Our life and attitude and the fruit we bear, love, kindness, gentleness, patience, peace, joy, that speaks volumes, because you can't generate that stuff anyway. It's the fruit of the Spirit. Even
this motherfucker just said like joy and happiness and all that other good stuff right there. It only manifests in reality because of God. That's what he said. That it's all like those are demonstrations of God right there.
I mean, I hate to break it to this asshole, but like that shit existed far before, like long before Christianity existed.
All of those things are just chemicals in your brain. Like in chemicals in other organisms' brains that happen.
But people felt those things before.
Well, yeah, true.
Christianity was ever even a thought.
Well, yeah, true. But you got to understand that he thinks that, like, God created the universe. He created everything.
Well, he's dumb as fuck.
He is dumb as fuck, honey. Would this be an appropriate use of dipshit?
Yes, he's a dipshit.
people who aren't believers, when they experience these fruits, it's still the Spirit. They just don't know the source. Okay? Francis.
Yes. So, if you guys didn't know, the only reason why you feel happiness is because God did it for you.
So when I'm happy and I know it, it's totally God?
Yep.
Awesome.
Of Assisi famously reportedly said, preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words. There's something to this. This is especially important to people who are close to you, family, anyone whose diaper you've changed, anyone who's changed your diaper, anyone you've slept with. There's always going to be familiarity there, where they're not always going to be able to hear you if you come across preaching to them anyways, but they will read how you live your life, and they will read it like a book, better than you know yourself, okay?
So basically what he's saying is that the very last resort should be using words to defend the faith, and that you should just be a kind, happy person in order to exemplify everything that Jesus does, or is, or the reality of Jesus.
Or you could just be a kind, happy person just because it's nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's also the thing. So I guess he's providing a false dichotomy here, because he's saying that you can't be those things without Jesus and God and all that, and that those things are products of Jesus and God. So therefore,
I can't stand people like this guy because they come across as like, just be a nice person, and like he's trying to be really nice and personable and everything, but really what he's saying is abhorrent. Mm-hmm. And I can't stand Christians or apologists like that.
I definitely feel that too, honey.
Nevertheless, look, words are important, and there is a vital, and I mean vital, role for a clear articulation of the gospel message, because faith comes by hearing. I'm just saying it doesn't have to get argumentative, where everything becomes a debate. I mean, sometimes a debate could be healthy or entertaining on YouTube, but how effective are they really in life? Because usually you're just cementing the opinions of people who already agree with you and already believe a certain way. And it's like, at the end of the day, what is it always going to accomplish? Now the trophy of the truth goes to the guy with the most articulate message, and you win the contest.
So, I mean, debates aren't about that. Debates are presenting the best argument for it. And while one debate may not, change the mind of somebody, it could change the mind of somebody else. It could be multiple debates that do it. But the point is to have the discussion, is to be presented with alternative ideas.
Oh, but they don't want that.
No, they
That's
don't.
threatening to them.
Well, I mean, honestly, this guy, it's like, oh, well, what proof do you have of Jesus? Well, I didn't slap a person today.
And Jesus happened to me.
It's like, oh, you want a cookie? You don't get a cookie for not slapping people with your dick. See, Jordan Drake did a super chat. Thank you, Jordan, for that. And then there was another person that did a super chat, but they retracted it. And then Who's Your Atheist says, so God watches children undress and his son is going around revealing himself. That's one messed up duo. Okay, let's see. What else you gotta say?
No, come on. With an atheist in conversation, I would first ask, tell me about the God you don't believe in. But
oh, you want me to tell you about the God that I don't believe in? Because I don't believe in your God. I don't believe in the Islamic God. I don't believe in all the fucking
God.
Well, I know they're the same God, Yahweh. I don't believe in Yahweh. I don't believe in Vishnu or whatever. Krishna, whatever the fuck Buddhists and all those other religions believe.
There are thousands of Hindu gods.
Or Hinduism. I don't believe in any of those. So which one do you exactly want me to describe to you? I'm guessing you want me to describe Yahweh. Yahweh wants his people to sacrifice animals to him up until a certain point in the past when he was fine with killing another motherfucker, specifically his own son, and taking that blood magic and working it on sin, something that he could have just erased because he wanted to. So Don't tell me that I have some kind of weird, distorted idea of what your particular God looks like. I know what your particular God looks like. I'm going through the Bible and analyzing him now. There's a book out there that perfectly describes him. I'm sorry that if my, I guess, interpretation of it, and by interpretation I just mean reading the fucking book, doesn't match up to what you want God to be. It seems like you're the one that's bullshitting around and changing what God is, what he does, and how he operates. Because up until Jesus apparently was pinned to the cross like a goddamn game of pin the tail on the Jew. I like it when I make her do that. Up until that point, you had to kill umpteen thousands of fucking animals a year to erase the sins of people. Sin, which is a made-up thing by this God that people use in order to guilt people into believing it. And they also thought that anything anybody did that wasn't to the glory of God was going to eventually fuck them up, which translates into the current day because people still think that shit.
Peachy said, I believe in Thor as long as he looks like Chris Hemsworth.
Wait, Chris...
Virtual high five.
I'm guessing Chris Hemsworth in the first 3 Avengers movies.
Ever.
And the Thor movies.
Chris Hemsworth. Virtual high five, Peachy.
Because, look, everybody has a theology. Everybody has a perspective of God, even atheists. And chances are, when they tell me about this God that they don't believe in, I would probably agree. Because chances are, like most people, they probably have a toxic image of what they think God is like.
I wonder, why do I have a toxic image of what God looks like?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because we've read the Bible.
Is it because of the Bible? Because in the Bible, he has people raping and murdering children? Really? Oh, you're trying to tell me that I'm fucked up for thinking that's toxic behavior. Oh, well, just fuck me then. God damn, I should drink some more beer and hail Satan.
So I would agree with him. Yeah, I don't believe in that God either. And furthermore, Scripture says that to reject an idol is an act of pure worship. So chances are your atheism against that false image of God could be, unbeknownst to you, an act of worship. Look.
I hate this guy.
Yeah. So basically, us not believing in the literal image of God that we find in the Bible, which is the one that he believes in, because we don't subscribe to his particular version of that God or his understanding of that God. Therefore, we're worshiping that God by not believing in these other ideas about that God. Like, that's just a shitty fucking tactic. That's like, oh, did you know that you're really worshiping God right now? Oh, you're a good Christian. It's like, motherfucker. Like, seriously, that would piss an atheist off. Calling them a secret Christian is just fucking deplorable.
For a lot of people, they want to see some kind of evidence if they're going to believe. And so this is where we could have a discussion.
I hate his fucking Tony Stark glasses.
Show me the proof, they say. And if you can't, then you just believe in fairy tales. Well, to that, I would say, look around you. Your entire life is already flush with evidence that maybe you don't want to see. It's an issue of wrongly interpreting the evidence that is all around us in plain sight.
Does this asshole think we're just stupid?
Yes, he does, honey. He thinks we're too stupid to see evidence for God because, oh, the trees look pretty. That girl over there's happy. That old man's not diddling that small boy. Like, apparently...
Well, that's fine in Christianity.
Well, yeah. but you have to... You have to understand that the fact that this guy is so arrogant that he's like, oh, are you fucking blind? Don't you see this tree over here? That's a sign of God. The fact that you're laughing at me right now because I don't make any kind of goddamn sense, that's an act of God. Those are evidence of God.
He has an all caps comment for you.
Okay. Peachy. Fuck you with the look around you. You fucking condescending, pretentious asshat douche canoe!
I concur.
But again, faith comes by revelation from God, not by the closed circuit loop of scientism. See, scientism is a self-contained system. It is the reduction of all that can be known into the limited box of only the observable known universe.
Scientism isn't a real thing, motherfucker! At least not in the context that he's talking about, because he's talking about just general fucking science. Scientism, while it is a thing, and that's when people, like, worship science as, like, a religion or something, that's not what science fucking is. So, what he's saying is that, you know, science tries to look at just reality instead of the supernatural, which can't be proven, because as soon as you can prove something, you know, supernatural, it becomes fucking natural.
I had an Ally McBeal moment.
What's that?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where like you picture something happening in your head and it doesn't really happen.
Yeah.
It's like you see how you have the freeze frame right now.
Yeah.
I imagined going up to him, taking off his sunglasses, and shoving them down his throat.
Fuck. God damn! She tried to show me on her phone like it happened in her phone.
It happened right here.
Oh man, So I it always it baffles me when people are just like, oh, you mean reality is all there is? Fuck that. I believe in something above reality without any evidence for it, because if I had evidence, it would be reality. Like, it's so fucking confusing.
Michelle Foster says she's gonna Photoshop a dick in his...
Hold on there.
Do you got a jackhammer Jesus or a baby Jesus butt plug you can put up to that?
Well, I'm sure that Google can be good for her, but I was gonna send her a better version of the thing. Okay. Just really quick, since she wants to. I don't know if she's actually gonna do it, but I'm sending it to her.
Peachy says, Michelle, there's a ping of a rainbow dildo if I'm not mistaken. I love you guys so much.
And it's the arrogant assumption that everything can be deciphered by human analysis and reason. I mean, how much more arrogant does it get than that? Scientism is an ideology. It is a religion.
I love how he says, how much more arrogant does it get? You are about as arrogant as it gets.
Okay, so I agree. He's very arrogant, and you know, the fact that he thinks we're even more arrogant is hilarious. But the fact that he thinks that it's just out of the realm of possibility that we should expect to have evidence for a God that's supposed to work within reality. I get that they want to push him outside of reality into the supernatural. But you see, the problem with that is that if that is the situation, he has to stay outside of reality. Like, he's got to stay in the supernatural. He can never be proven in reality, which I would say that any God can't be proven in reality, because then that would take him out of the supernatural. I mean, it's kind of like a catch-22 type of situation. Anyways, so I like how that's just ridiculous. And it's ridiculous that we can comprehend that. Like, I get that we're limited by our own perception or our own perspective of things in reality. But I don't think that it's outside. Like, there's no way to know that it's outside of our ability to be able to comprehend this God that's supposed to exist. Plus, I'm very Gnostic about specific definitions of God, like Yahweh, Vishnu, the million
Allah.
Hindu gods, Allah. Like, those definitions of God I am Gnostic about. They do not exist, because they have their own test manuals that you can use in order to see if they actually do exist, and they fail every fucking time.
You got another good freeze frame there, by the way. But see, this time I didn't picture the sunglasses going down his throat. I pictured the rainbow dildo.
The rainbow dildo. My wife.
Hey, you picked it.
I know, I did.
I mean, as far as evidence, yeah, look, I've seen countless miracles and physical healings over the years. I'm not even going to get into the blind eyes, the deaf ears we've seen open up, teeth growing in people's head, weird stuff, crazy stuff, pulling people out of wheelchairs. But left alone with that,
I'm gonna have to call bullshit on your anecdotal fucking evidence. This is just fucking anecdotal bullshit evidence, really. I mean, you're sitting there saying that you've seen eyes grow back and teeth grow back and shit like that. I mean, hell, my son's lost teeth and teeth have grown in, so that's not exactly a fucking miracle. Are you talking about an 85-year-old woman who lost a tooth because she bit down on, I don't know, was Skittles too hard, and she lost a tooth, and then it grew back immediately because she sucked that Jesus dick? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Otherwise, you're just bullshitting the entire time. There have been no miracles whatsoever to verifiably to have happened. So all of this right here is supernatural. Miracles, all that kind of shit, supernatural. They can never be proven in reality, because as soon as you prove them, they're not fucking supernatural.
somebody could still just try to put a psychosomatic interpretive spin on it, like it was all some placebo effect. Oh, that tooth grew into somebody's head because of a mind over matter trick. Yeah, that's good science.
So let me get this straight. If we were able to accurately explain to you why this miracle is not actually a miracle and it happened because of natural reasons, either through illusion or just some other natural process, you'll be like, oh, y'all just come up with any fucking thing out there to explain God away because you're godless and you just want to sin and, I don't know, go around fucking pipes and shit. I don't know what the fuck you people do.
Wellington said there's an 8-inch rainbow dildo on Amazon and he's tempted.
What, Wellington, why are you looking at dildos on Amazon? You know, Chrismer was like, I would hate, or somebody, I don't know if it was Chrismer, sorry. Somebody was like, I want to see GE's search history. And it's like,
no, you don't. It's a weird,
I want to see
weird,
Wellington's.
scary place.
Oh. I'm not even the one that looked up the butt plug Jesus.
Well, so, to be fair, I can explain that.
Wellington's like, it's got 4.5 out of 5 stars. Oh, Quentin's the one that wants to see my search history.
Look, especially if they're a dogmatic atheist, I mean, they're going to find any workaround whatsoever to stick with their ideology.
What the fuck is a dogmatic atheist?
Well, I mean, I can understand what he's talking about, being that it's the people that, regardless of like any kind of information they're presented, they're always right, and you know, just being dogmatic while being atheist, I guess. But you know, not being open to being proven wrong or whatnot. But I mean, the problem is that there's no evidence to actually prove God exists. What he really wants is for atheists to be open to revelation from God, is what is what he's talking about. Oh God. Michelle, I can't put this on screen.
Why not?
I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh yes, you can. Why not?
You think I can?
Well, you're gonna get demonetized.
It's like, fuck it, I don't need the money. I don't know. That doesn't. Is that Jesus' dick? That might be Jesus' dick. All right, let's get that off there.
I don't know. I thought it would be sparkly or something.
I mean, you can put sparkles on it.
You could.
If they're not honest enough with themselves to just say, look, I don't know everything, and at least have a little humility to call yourself an agnostic, an I don't know guy, instead of an atheist, like I've got it all figured out.
Okay, no, while there are some, like, Gnostic atheists out there, like I said, I'm Gnostic about specific definitions, but I would call myself an agnostic atheist to God in general. And so what he's saying here is the whole line of atheist means people assert that there definitely is no God, like you have knowledge that there is no God, right? And I mean, I think that that's a pretty narrow definition for atheism, especially in the colloquial sense, because that's not how atheism is used. Most people use atheism. Excuse me.
Damn.
Most people use atheism to state that they lack a belief in God, not that they positively assert that there is no God. But I mean, I can see a good like a good oh fuck, I'm trying to think of the word to use here. I can think of a good argument. I can think of a good argument for being very Gnostic about God in general, I guess. But even then, I would have caveats to it. So I still consider myself an agnostic atheist. But he wants to assert that those that don't know if God exists, like definitively, are all agnostic. And he's calling us disingenuous for not labeling ourselves that way. You know, I don't care what you label yourself as. You can label yourself as anything. But honestly, I'm a little perturbed by the fact that you don't label yourself a dickhead. I mean, you're acting like it. You've got the bald head and everything. You just look like a ball sack that talks. No, sorry, that was a really bad ad hom. I don't want to be like that.
I mean, he kind of was a dickhead when we put the rainbow dildo in his face.
Furthermore, I would attest to the fact that God raising Jesus from the dead is evidentiary enough. I mean, that is the evidence our whole faith rests upon, thereby validating Jesus' claims of his own divinity. I mean, the resurrection, we're talking about a historical fact with more recorded first-hand eyewitness evidence than the existence of Julius Caesar.
This is bullshit. Like, completely bullshit. I don't know. See, this is funny, okay? Because he's talking about how apologetics is bad, but yet he uses bad apologetics, in order to state that there's more evidence for the resurrection than Julius Caesar. There are no, like, good evidence. Like, there is no good evidence for the resurrection of Jesus Christ. There just simply isn't. So you're bullshitting us on that part. And you're using apologetics while condemning apologetics at the same time. I don't know why anybody would want to take you seriously, because you're just a fucking hypocrite.
Ding.
Ding! Dipshit.
And then we've got a starting point for navigating a discussion about God. He looks like Jesus, because otherwise this is all pie in the sky. And we can teach from this reality as an a priori fact with no apologia necessary. But again, I get it. That wouldn't be enough for many people. Because here's what happens. They invert the tables of rationality. Get this. To say that faith,
What?
not scientism, but faith is the unreasonable, superstitious alternative.
You know,
I'm so confused right
you
now.
ever heard somebody state something that it's totally reasonable and is and completely represents like reality of the situation, but they're talking about it like it's ridiculous. Like, are you fucking serious? We all stick to the earth because of gravity? Oh, fuck. Like, it's that kind of fucking argument here. This is just ridiculous. I mean, to say that faith is the rational thing, while everything, like, those that are anti-faith or, you know, just reasonable people are the irrational ones. Like, you're trying to gaslight people that don't believe in your God. That's just a shitty fucking tactic in general.
I think I'm coming around to the whole idea of Ken Ham's kinds. And this guy belongs to the idiot kind.
I do want to clarify, just because I said something about his bald head, which I regret. I shouldn't have went there, but it's not because of his bald head that he's a dickhead or anything
No,
like that.
it's because of what comes out of it.
Yes, it's because of what comes out of it, and so not all people with bald heads look like ball sacks. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think he looks like a ball sack. I just think he looks like an asshole.
I don't know. He kind of looks like a deformed one a little bit.
I don't know.
Never mind. I need to stop doing that.
When in actuality, the opposite is true. Because, man, it takes a lot of faith to believe in atheism. I mean, for all of its claims, atheism is just not rational. It's not reasonable.
What are all these claims that atheists make?
You don't believe in atheism. That is not a thing. Fuck.
Like, there's one claim that atheists make. God doesn't exist, or I lack the belief in God.
Or I
Like,
don't believe in
or
gods or deities.
Or I don't believe in gods or deities. Like, that's one central claim, like, that it makes on one particular question.
But it's
Like,
I
that's
don't
it.
believe. I don't believe.
Right.
It's not a belief in atheism. That's not a thing.
Faith on the other hand, is not a lack of reason. Scientism is a lack of reason. God is not an observable item in the closed dimensions of the universe for which we may or may not be able to demand evidence. The evidence criteria for proving God is extremely close-minded, because what if everything is evidence? We just aren't interpreting the evidence correctly.
So basically, if you don't believe in God, then you're just wrong about the evidence. And so you need to change your opinion about the evidence and come around and believe in God. Like, this is such fucked up logic. Like, I can't process it. Like, I really can't. Like, I don't understand why he thinks this is a good argument for his faith, or why he thinks this is the reality of it. Because, I mean, it really does make him seem arrogant, which, I mean, he is arrogant. But, I mean, to be like, oh no, y'all just are looking at the data wrong, okay? The data clearly says that God pinned a Jew up on a cross and then resurrected him 3 days later, and that was his son, who is also himself. Okay? All the evidence points that direction. You just have to look at it and agree with it. That's all you got to do. Anytime an argument for something sounds like that, just fucking get out of that. Like you should not believe that shitty of an argument.
He is the ground of all existence, which transcends observation and comprehension.
God transcends observation and whatever the fuck. And
I agree with that. Their deity does transcend observation.
You can't observe the fuck, you just gotta believe in him. That's why tornadoes happen.
But their God transcends observation, but just look around and you can observe him everywhere.
This guy's a double speak machine.
Fucking 404. I can't.
Is that a nerd reference?
It might have been Don't Tell Anybody.
And that may seem scary, that there's something we can't figure out, and maybe that's a little too humbling to recognize our limitations of being mere creatures and not being able to solve all the riddles of the cosmos with our 4-pound brains, or we can rest that this whole thing is in good hands. Look, I'm not sure what your perspective is on God. Everybody's got a perspective.
All right, yeah, he's not sure of our perspective, but in any case, that's gonna be it. It's a 30-minute long video, and we've watched a third of it. So I'm either gonna do a follow-up video where I do the next 10 minutes just off stream, or I'll probably do that, and we'll do a different video next week. But yeah, that's all that we're gonna look at tonight from this dipshit. All right, heathens. Well, if you're leaving out right now and you're not going to be staying for the Skeptic Mafia comments, then I hope that you guys have a lovely night. Be sure to leave me a comment with what you thought about this guy's bullshit right here. Also, let me know if I should continue to do the rest of his video to see what kind of dipshitty thing he says. Of course, the original video is linked in the description, so if you want to hear my thoughts, watch this video and tell me what you think. But while you're down there, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you like this kind of dipshitty content. Don't forget to stand up, use your voice, all that kind of good shit.